We've never had a player, I think, that was as known in the market as well as Hadji.
I think every single person was just as happy as he was making that move, you know? And I know it hurt him as well leaving, and he was very torn about the situation, but in the end, it's something that he definitely had to do, for sure, and we all respected that and got behind him.
The club was approached with a USL record-shattering offer for the face of the franchise and made the difficult decision to transfer Hadji Barry to the Egyptian Premier League side Future FC. With just a season and a half with the Switchbacks, Hadji amassed 41 goals and 14 assists, shattering the franchise goal-scoring record. Coming at a time when the Switchbacks are looking to secure a home playoff game, how does this impact the team going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, in a way, losing Hadji made us all come together and become a bit closer. And, you know, Hadji would be the first person to say that we've had the whole year just this next man up mentality. So no matter who's on the field, you know, they're going to come in and do their job. And I think you saw that, just, you know, team cohesion, us coming together and, you know, making a statement that, you know, yeah, we lost Hadji, you know, the best player of this franchise probably has ever seen, and a great guy, great leader, and that hurt. But, you know, there's still other guys here that can perform, and everyone stepped up.
I think it's, again, a testament to the group. Hadji's arguably one of the best players, not arguably, he is one of the best players this league has ever seen. He fundamentally changed this project. A lot of guys, myself included, probably wouldn't be here without the effort that he put in, especially in 2021. But obviously, all it takes is look at the numbers he had when he left to see that he was more than continuing on in that vein in 2022. I think the conversations were they were all positive. This is a life-changing opportunity for Hadji. It's a sign to the rest of the league and I think to American soccer that you can grow a career. You can use this league not just as a great league to make a living and to develop your craft, but to jump off to, you know, huge opportunities.
It's an impossible hole to fill. A guy like Hadji leaving, athleticism, technical ability, killer instinct. He has all the things. And so for us, it was just, we have to be more of a team. We couldn't rely on one guy in his individual brilliance. We still have Michi, we still have Jairo to do those kinds of things. But a lot of guys, myself included, different pieces stepping up and finding ways to win games. And, you know, we needed that.
We set a very high bar for what a club that was interested in Hadji needed to do. And there needs to be that agreement at both the club level and the player level. And, this club in Cairo is, very interested in Hadji. And one of the things that we've seen in the past, if clubs haven't really expressed their interest financially, then it's really not in the player's best interest or the club's best interest on the player side, because it's unlikely that he'll get playing time if they don't truly value him financially. And so they've checked a number of boxes, and at the end of the day, it's a very difficult decision, but something that the player wants. And I think also it tells a good story about what we as a club are open to, working with relationships, understanding what they want as a professional athlete, and be able to meet them in the middle. If we as an organization have a legacy or a story of sitting on talent, then what does that tell the next potential Hadji, that maybe he shouldn't come to Colorado Springs? We want that next Hadji to come to Colorado Springs.
First off, it was like gratitude, because everybody was grateful for what he'd done. Obviously, we wouldn't have been in the position we were in if it wasn't for the 37, 42 goals, however many it was. It's an absurd amount of goals, over the last 2 years. But then it was the realization of, okay, Hadji's gone. Hadji's not here to bail us out anymore. We can't just have average nights and think that, okay, he's going to cut the ball back on his right foot and it's going to be in the top corner. Like, we don't necessarily have that guy anymore. So I think it became almost something that unified us a little bit more, because obviously there's outside talk about how they're not who they were with Hadji and so on and so forth. And while Hadji's obviously a fantastic, great player, like obviously he'll go down in history in the USL and certainly in this club. But reality is in professional sports, somebody else has to step up at that moment. Again, Elvis, Jairo, myself, we have different guys contributing, in the attacking line that were able to contribute goals, and we realize that we also can't be conceding like that if we're not going to have somebody scoring 2-3 goals a game. So I think overall the consensus was it was fantastic having him, and this is a great situation for him, his family, his career. But now what do we do here? And it was, we have to be a lot more disciplined in every aspect of the game.
First off, Hadji's just a great human being, and you guys know he worked closely with you guys as well, and it's like everyone in the league always asks, all right, so be honest about Hadji. And I'm like, Hadji's a good guy. He really is. Like he's a good captain, he's a good guy, he's a good friend, and all that kind of stuff. So as a locker room, we were super happy for him. I mean, you can't not be. Like, if any of us had the opportunity to do that as well, there's a no-brainer. All of us would have done it. It's life-changing for him and his family. So we completely supported him. And I know it was a hard decision on him. I mean, he waited up for weeks, and when he spoke to us about it and stuff, he was, really heartfelt and whatnot. So we were super happy for him, but we also knew that, some guys had to step up. And obviously, I think some guys did.
I feel like I did enough. I did what I can do. Of course, I would like to do more, which is to bring a championship here, because that's our ultimate goal. But God usually has other plans, and we can't question that. And opportunities like this doesn't come often. So it was an easy decision for me to make, bittersweet at the same time, because I really love this club, I love the organization, love my coaching staff, my teammates. I wouldn't be the player I am today without these guys. So it was a hard decision, because especially in the towards the end of the season right now, and to leave them. And I would like to really make a special thank you to Brendan Burke. Without him, none of this would have been possible, That's the guy who believed in me from the first day I walked in here. Even before signing me, I had a tough year the year before in 2020. Of course, other people maybe doubted the talent, doubted whatever, and I can't control that. But that was one guy who I never played for, came to me, with a straight confidence and belief from the first conversation we had. And I knew right there, that's the guy I want to play for. And that's why every day I come into this locker, every time I step between those white lines, one thing you would not question is my work rate for that guy. I made that decision for myself the minute I came here, that I would give that guy everything I have, and I hope I did that.
I remembered him from his time in Orlando, honestly, and it was a game down there, I believe, where I remember him standing out to me and being very close to having a major impact on the game, and he was a young player. And then he went off on 3 or 4 different clubs, 5 different clubs, a different country, and that can be disorienting to a player. So I thought he just needed stability and a good system that would suit his skill set. And I think he nailed it and we nailed it.
Of course, people will always focus on the things I do on the field, but at the end of the day, one day I'll stop playing this game, and I want people to remember the Hadji Barry, the person, not Hadji Barry, just a soccer player.
Knowing what was at stake and that somebody needed to step up, the players hit the training ground hard to prepare for the final stretch of the season. All eyes were on young star Michi Galina as the team got ready for El Paso.
Hadji was the best scorer in the team, was scoring a lot. So a lot of people was looking down to me. That was like, hey, so Hadji's done. We think you can do this. So that pushed me to push really hard in training and learn a lot. I try and I prove.
That this is, in many ways, kind of a breakthrough season for him, Heidi.
Yeah, he in the last match.
Well, hold still for that. Michi Galina, great dummy, and the slot is in for the opening goal. Ryan Matt Mahoney restarting at Echeverria. Up to the left wing, Galina. Echeverria, nice touch. Galina in time, deflected and rolled in.
You can't teach what Michi does, and that's why he's going to move toward the highest levels of the game. You know, when you have special players like that, they can flip a game on its head, and I think we prepared well as a group, but he also flipped that game on its head.
Michi came out firing and was able to secure a hat trick and led the team to its first win against El Paso in franchise history. Securing the first home playoff in downtown Colorado Springs, the players looked to keep the momentum going.
You know, I think for a lot of us that was a massive, massive win, not only because it clinched a home playoff, but because we've had a lot of difficulties playing down at El Paso and playing El Paso in general. So it was a big statement win in that way, because we overcame, you know, a kind of a hurdle that we've struggled with. So as a team, it was, you know, I think a big motivator for us for the last couple games of the season and into playoffs.
I don't know if it was remarked on enough at the time. I think that was a big moment for the locker room and for the club to kind of get the monkey off your back of we hadn't beaten El Paso, they're a perennial playoff team. And in one stroke, we ended their season and more than extended ours.